everybody, Zen here bringing you more patch 2.0 content on the PTS. This is our final class overview video, and I am on my Juggernaut. So today, that obviously means we'll be going over the Juggernaut and the Guardian changes. Now, these don't cover any of the different changes that have been added in the recent patches. We'll go over those in a different video. These are just the overall changes that were added in 2.0 to begin with, and then in future videos we'll just expand upon that with whatever gets changes. Like the Sniper and Gunslinger got changed yet again for quite a bit of stuff, and we'll check that out in a different video. But now we're on my Juggernaut, and this is a character I am not too familiar with, so I'm bound to miss things, I'm bound to skip over things, and it may happen, it may not. But if it does, don't judge me because it's not a character I'm very familiar with. Considering this character was level 10 just a little while ago, which is kind of embarrassing, but you know, I don't really have a Juggernaut or Guardian. I leveled up both a Marauder and a Sentinel. Wasn't too interested in the Juggernaut or Guardian. However, I did my research and I'm going to try to bring you the best possible video with all the different changes here that I possibly can. So hopefully we get this right. Now we're going to start off by doing what we always do in all these videos, which is describing what the alacrity changes are, because they're very important. This is right from the patch notes. Alacrity has been redesigned to be a more universally useful stat. Now alacrity reduces the activation time of all abilities, including instant abilities. If such an ability is reduced below the global cooldown is reduced as well. Alacrity now also increases resource regeneration for all classes by the same amount that it increases ability activation speed. I don't really know what the last part means for warriors or for knights. I haven't really gotten a chance to test it. However, when I come up with the findings, I will definitely let you guys know. So there were a few changes for the Juggernaut. Apparently, at least for the tanking set of things, it seems to be that they've been moved up to on par with what the power techs are, or I guess the vanguards if you're on the Republic, which is cool because that's a good place to be, because the power techs have always been very strong tanks. In fact, they're arguably the strongest, but most people don't realize that. And we'll just skip over that because half of you are going to disagree with that anyways. But look, listen, the game is balanced. You don't need to know any more than that. So, as far as new Juggernaut abilities, how funny would that be? Like a clown running around with heavy armor, juggling lightsabers? That would be great. I would pay money to see that. No, Juggernaut abilities. The first one is Saber Reflect, and we will find that in the Juggernaut thing. I have it specifically on my bar somewhere just so to show you, but so you can actually read it. 1 minute cooldown, which isn't bad at all, but reflects all direct single target ranged force and tech attacks back to the attacker for 3 seconds. So think of it as kind of like a warrior spell reflect in Warcraft, which is really great, except it lasts for 3 seconds and it reflects everything. I don't know if that's how the spell reflect worked in Warcraft. It may have, I've just never really played one. So let's pop this sucker and see what the animation is. There you go. If you see that on a Juggernaut, don't attack them, you idiot, because you're going to kill yourself. It is a terrible idea to do that. Why they have their Saber Reflect up. Same with the Guardians. It's very similar, so just keep that in mind. I think it's just blue. I think maybe the exact same thing, but blue for the Guardians. So just don't kill yourself. It may be very possible to do so. I like this ability that it only lasts for 3 seconds specifically because it makes it so that you have to use it at a very specific time in PvP and PvE. Like, I can imagine, oh gosh, what does it say exactly? Direct single target ranged force and tech attacks back to the attacker. See, this makes me wonder if you could reflect debuffs, because imagine you're tanking Firebrand and you reflect his debuff back to him. Like, that would be really overpowered. I'm not sure if that's the use of it. I don't think it can do that. But I mean, you could use this for all sorts of things. Just popping in my head for PvE, not only PvE, but also in PvP. So that'll be great. The other thing is that they got a new passive ability, Juggernauts. It is called Endless Rage. Let's find it. There we go. Passive ability generates 1 rage when attacked. This effect cannot occur more than once every 6 seconds. If I remember correctly, it used to be here in the tree. Let me double check that. Yeah, well, it used to be that, except you had to be in Shicho form. and that is no longer the case. So now it is just a... Where'd it go? There we go. It is now just a passive, so you generate 1 rage when attacked, and it cannot occur more than once every 6 seconds. All of the warriors around the world just rejoiced who love to tank, which is great. Pommel Strike and Savage Kick have both been removed from the game as far as warriors go, whatever the equivalent abilities for those are on the knight. And let's see here. Guard was changed a bit. I mentioned this in some of the other tank videos, but I'll mention it now because, I mean, if you're a Juggernaut tank, you'll want to know this, or a Guardian tank. So crowd control effects that break on damage, this is for Guard, will no longer break from damage reflected through Guard. For example, a blinded Guarder will no longer be broken out of the blind from damage dealt to a guarded target within guard range. So more of a PvP change there. And effects that are triggered through dealing damage which affect a target who is guarded will no longer also affect the guarder. You'll have to decipher that. That is just a mess. Sundering Assault has been redesigned, which is this ability here, which I put it over there on purpose. I'll even find it so you guys can actually read it. There you go. The patch note says this ability now has a 15-second cooldown, applies a 20% armor reduction for 45 seconds, and builds 5 rage. The armor reduction it applies no longer stacks. So that sounds great to me. I don't know what it was before, but that sounds awesome. Like, I would love to have something like that. And then SWTOR form right there has been redesigned. It no longer generates rage when attacked because that is also part of the passive now. So that's cool. But it says all assault abilities generate one less rage. I don't know if that was there before. Once again, not very familiar, unfortunately. So let's hop into the talents, the holy grail of things I'll probably miss. So for the most part, there's a lot of rearranging going on at the bottom of these trees here. We're going to go from left to right. However, we need to go over some of the rearrangements first. So first thing is this talent used to be over here, and it has also been redesigned. It used to be, it used to have an addition to it. It used to be and increases damage dealt by forward and 8%. Now it just increases damage dealt by ravage by 5 and 10% because it's a 2-point talent. But it also reduced the cooldown of ravage by 3 seconds. That is no longer the case, as you see there. Although it does get a bit of a damage boost. It used to be over here, it is now over here, right? Are you following yet? That was a pretty easy change. There is quite a few others. There used to be, oh gosh, where was it? It was, oh, now I'm trying to find where they moved it to. I hate when they do this to me. Oh, this one? Yes, this one used to be right here in the tanking tree. As far as I could tell, it is different. Let me double check that. So it used to be reduces the rage cost of Chilling Scream by 1 and decreases global cooldown by a ½ second when you put both points into it. It looks like it now is Force Charge, Obliterate, and Intercede have a 50% chance to grant Oppressor, which I'm pretty sure is completely different than what it was before. Am I right? Or did they just move that? Yeah, they just moved it over. Does it even have the same name? No, it doesn't. So maybe it's just a new talent, but you could see it there. We'll get to that one when we get over there. And I think that's all I can remember for now that they changed around. But as we go through, I'll be like, oh yeah, that was over there. So this talent and this talent are the same at the bottom here. This one has a new icon, though. This one is different. Reduces the cooldown of Retaliation by 1½ second while Saber Ward is active. It used to be a 3-point talent. Increases your melee and range defenses by 2, 4, 6% while in SWTOR form. This one is different if not new. Increased armor rating by 15%. I don't see that in the other tree. While SWTOR form is active, the rage cost of Retaliation is reduced by 1, and its critical chance is increased by 7.5%. That was moved. It used to be right there. It moved over to here, and yes, it was different. The previous one was just reduced to the force cost of Retaliation, so they slightly changed it. I mean, they just added a bit at the end. The Warmonger, it appears to be new. I haven't found it anywhere else. Getting attacked while in SWTOR form reduces the active cooldown of Force Charge by a ½ second. This effect cannot occur more than once every 1½ seconds. So that's it for that, that row at least. And then we'll move up. This was changed. It is now a 2-point talent down from 3. Retaliation raises a blade barricade rather. Just tripping over all sorts of words. Increasing all defenses, by 2.5% for 10 seconds. It used to be 1, 2, and 3% for 12 seconds. So it's a little different. I would say it's better, especially because it's only a 2-point talent now. Invincible is the same. This seems to be different. This is now Smash has a 100% chance to apply armor reduction to affected targets. It used to be that it applied 2 or 4 stacks of armor reduction to all affected enemies. So it's weird. It's the same, but it's different. You know, I hope that makes sense at all. This is no longer here. This ability or this talent that was over here. It was increase the damage dealt by backhand smash and sweeping slash by 8%. But as you can tell, it is MIA. It is no longer there. This talent is the same, so is this one and this one. So as far as that goes, there's no change here. This is the same. Backhand is the same. I think it still has the same cooldown. Yes. Okay. Good. But this is different. Increases shield chance by 2% and reduces the cooldown of Saber Ward by 15 seconds. It has a 2-point talent. It used to be just increases shield chance by 2 and 4%. This is different. Reduces the cooldown of Force Push by 7.5 seconds and reduces the rage cost of Chilling Scream by 1. That used to be just reduces the cooldown of Force Push. And then this is new. Threatening Scream has a 50% chance to protect all allies within range, excluding yourself, granting Sonic Wall, which absorbs a moderate amount of damage less 10 seconds. This appears to be the same, so we're just going to skip over that. This one used to be a 3-point talent, is now a 1-point talent. I think it does the same thing. Let me just read the old one first, and we'll read the new one. Old one was increases the frequency at which Suretsu form can generate rage by 1 or 1 second, 2 second, and 3 second with the 3-point thing. In addition, sweeping slash and malicious slash have a 100% chance to reduce the active cooldown of rage by 3 seconds. It is now reduces the rate limit which endless rage can generate rage by 3 seconds. Additionally, reduces the rage cost of Force Scream, sweeping slash, and crushing blow by 1. You gotta remember this is a 1-point talent as opposed to a 3-point talent, which is what it was. Then we have 2 new ones. Right here, reduces the cooldown of Invincible by 10 seconds, increases the damage dealt by backhand, and Crushing Blow by 5%, reduces the cooldown of Retaliation by a half second. And Force Charge has a 50% chance to finish the cooldown of Disruption. In addition, Saber Reflect lasts 1 second longer and generates a high amount of threat on all engaged enemies within 30 meters when activated. That sounds amazing. And Crushing Blow was changed. It is got a lower cooldown. The previous cooldown was 15 seconds. It is now 12 seconds. Is all of the other things the same? Let's see, 3% for 20 seconds. Is that the same? It was 15 seconds before, and let's see here. If the target is affected by your armor reduction, Crushing Blow damages up to 4 additional nearby targets for the same amount. Was that in there previously? It was kind of. It says if the target is affected by 5 stacks of your armor, so now it is 4, or just any by armor reduction, because I don't think it stacks anymore. Crushing Blow damages up to 2 additional nearby enemies, so you see that is up to 4, and the rest appears to be pretty much the same. Okay, moving on to the middle tree, which is the least changed for the Juggernaut and the Guardian. This is reduce the cooldown of Sundering Assault by 1.5 second, 2-point talent. It used to be Sundering Assault has a 100% chance to apply 1 additional stack of Sunder armor. Obviously, Sundering Assault was also changed, so keep that in mind. We discussed that earlier. Shin form, I think that's how that's pronounced, is different, enters in aggressive lightsaber form, increasing all damage dealt by 6%. All attacks that cost rage will refund 1 rage when used. It previously was enters an aggressive lightsaber form, increasing all damage dealt by 6%. All attacks that cost rage will refund 1 rage when used. In addition, you generate 1 rage when attacked. Obviously, that effect is not in there anymore. The rest of everything down here is the same, and all of this is the same, right? So don't worry about any of that, but this gets a little different. Savagery. Impale, Vicious Throw, and Shatter have a 50% chance to increase the critical chance of your next Force Scream by 25%, lasts 15 seconds, stacks up to 2 times. Previously was that Impale and Shatter had a 100% chance to increase the critical hit chance of Force Scream and Vicious Throw by 60% for 9 seconds. These two are different. So the previous one for Sundering Throw was lowers the cooldown of Saber Throw by 5 seconds, increases the Saber Throw, and causes the Saber Throw to apply 2 stacks of Sunder Armor to the target. It is now reduces the cooldown of Saber Throw by 2.5 seconds and gives Saber Throw a 50% chance to apply armor reduction to the target. So kind of the same thing, except it's really just the thing that's happening there is the armor reduction. I don't think is stacking. I think it's just an armor reduction, because it doesn't say that there's a max amount of stacks that can happen there. Rampage, Impale, and Shatter have a 10% chance to finish the cooldown of Ravage and generate 1 Rage. This effect cannot occur more than once every 15 seconds. Each rank beyond the first reduces the rate limit by 3 seconds. Previously was, oh gosh, what number changed there? Let's see here, 10, 20, and 30%, generate 2 Rage. Generates 3 Rage now instead, because it, was it 2 Rage? Yeah, it maxed out at 2 Rage. I think that may be 3 Rage now. I think that may actually go up. And that's pretty much the same from there. It's either nerfed or buffed. Don't judge me. Let's actually check real quick. Why the heck not? Just to be thorough, because I'd like to be thorough. So I'm not even specking for realsies, so please don't judge me. You're like, oh my gosh, this spec was so bad. Look, I'm just pushing buttons to get the thing to go up. It does go up, so it goes up to 3 Rage. It previously was 2 Rage, so there you go. Reset. And these two are the new ones. Seething Hatred, when you exit combat, the active cooldown and Force Charge and Rage and Saber Throw are reduced by 50% rather. That goes up to 100%, and Destroyer increases the damage dealt by your bleeding effects by 3%. In addition, your Ravage and bleeding damage has a 10% chance to trigger Destroyer, which finishes the cooldown of Vicious Throw and makes your next Vicious Throw free and usable on a target with any health level. This effect cannot occur more than once every 20 seconds. And then Shatter itself was changed. It has a lower cooldown, or a higher cooldown, rather. It was 9 seconds. It is now 12 seconds. But as far as I can tell with the numbers, everything else appears to be the same. Let me double check that. Yes. Yes, it is the same as far as the numbers. Okay, moving into the third tree here. This is different because it was either moved, which is a complete possibility, or it's just new, but it says while Chi-Chu form is active, Force Charge and Obliterate have a 50% chance to make the next Force Scream activate with no cost, or no Rage cost. This is different, increases the damage dealt by Smash and Sweeping Smash by 10% and reduces the cooldown of Smash and Obliterate by 1.5 seconds. It was... oh gosh, where was it? What changed on that? Damage by Smash and Sweeping Slash by 10-20%. Yes, that is the same. Sweeping Slash, and lowers the cooldown of Smash by 3 seconds with both points. So they added Obliterate to that, so there you go. Obviously there was a talent here, but they moved it over here and they changed it slightly. This is the same. This is the same. This is the same, and this is the same. This is different. This is, I think this is new. It used to be here, but they moved it down, they changed it. It was, reduces the pushback suffered while channeling Force Choke by 50 and 100%. Is now just reduces the cooldown of Force Choke. As far as that goes, this talent was over in the tank tree. It is no longer over there, and it is different. Force Charge, Obliterate, and Intercede have a 50% chance to grant Oppressor, which makes your next Chilling Scream cost no Rage and activate with a half-second global cooldown. So that sounds good. There used to be a talent here, they just moved it right over there. So there you go, they just are trying to confuse you at this point. This is the same, this is the same. This is a 3-point talent up from a 2-point talent. Previously it was each tick of Force Choke and Force Crush grants you Shockwave, reducing the rage costs and increasing the damage dealt by your next smash by 12 and 25%. Stacks up to 4 times. It is now, when Chi-2 form is active, Enrage grants 1 stack of Shockwave, reducing the rage cost and increasing the damage dealt by your next smash by 11.1%. Stacks up to 3 times. Additionally, each hit of Force Choke grants 1 stack of Shockwave, and also reduces the cooldown of Enrage by 5 seconds, and causes Enrage to generate 2 additional rage over 2 seconds. So not too bad. But it is now a 3-point talent up from 2, so keep that in mind. There is a new talent here. I never saw this in any of the other trees. Vicious Slash deals additional energy damage as force damage. This is the same. This is the same. This is different. Obliterate can now be used while immobilized. It was previously, by the way, it's a 1-point talent now. It used to be 2, but it was increases the movement speed by 20 and 40% for 5 seconds after using Obliterate. So I don't know how good that is for PvP or how bad that is. It sounds more or less annoying than the last one did to go up against. Let's see here. This is different. Increases the critical strike damage of all attacks by 5%. It was increases the critical strike chance of, or critical strike damage of all force attacks by 10, 20, and 30%. And now it is 5, 10, and 15. This is the same. These two are new, so we'll go over these. Increases the damage dealt by 3% for 6 seconds after using Smash, and then reduces the damage taken from force attacks by 3%. In addition, whenever you reflect force damage with Saber Reflect, you build 1 rage. And last but not least, this was changed. I think the cooldown was... No, the cooldown's the same. What was changed on it? I think the slow was changed from, it was 60 to 10%, it is now 50 to 5% over 3 seconds. It used to be 5 seconds. So a little different there, but everything else appears to be the same. However, that is all of the different changes for the Juggernaut. Like I said, I probably missed something or missed multiple things. It's a very likely possibility. We'll be doing more update videos with each of the classes as they get updated through the different patches. Like now I need to do one for the Sniper and Gunslinger again to kind of go over the changes there. We will be doing the rest of Scum and Villainy. We're going to be starting on it in hard mode for the first time next week, and we'll be showing you those. And hopefully be getting guides out as we get closer to the launch of 2.0, which will be great for you guys. Plus, we have some just cool, exciting things coming down the pipeline as we go along. So I'm excited for all of that. You should be excited for all of that. More 2.0 content coming. And we'll be continuing all of our normal videos that we usually do on top of all of that. So it'll be an exciting time over the next few weeks. However, on that note, we shall see you guys next time.